This is the Sennheiser MKE400, and it might just be my new go-to microphone for run and gun audio capture. Today I'm going to be putting this mic through a bunch of tests both in the field and in my studio here to see how it holds up, and at the end of the video I'm going to let you know if I recommend you buy this microphone or if I have any other alternative suggestions. Full disclosure, Sennheiser did send me this microphone, but this is not sponsored by them. Everything in this video is my own honest opinion. So let's get into it. What makes this mic so special? First, for context, I want to show you the microphone that I have been using for the past few years because it's kind of my baseline. This is my Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. I bought it in 2018 and unboxed it in this very old video. Since then, it's been my go-to mic for talking head like this, vlogging, even scratch audio for client projects like weddings and corporate stuff. And even though it's a few years older, it still holds up. I'm actually using it to record this video, but it does have its problems and I'm hoping the MKE400 can address them. Okay, first let's talk about the build quality and design of the MKE400. It has a mostly plastic build, which makes it pretty light at about 94 grams. This is nice when it's on top of your camera. The one thing I do wish was metal though is the cold shoe mount. Having it be plastic just makes me worried that it's gonna break at some point. But the shining feature of this microphone is its size. This mic is really small and it has a weird kind of design that most shotgun mics aren't using. What you're looking at here is actually the pop filter for the microphone. It's built into it and the actual mic is inside here. It's kind of a similar build style to the blimps that are used over top of shotgun mics on movie sets. Also built into the mic is the shock mount that absorbs vibrations, which is kind of cool because it means not only do you not have a big pop filter on here, but you also don't have a Rycote shock mount at the base like a lot of these shotgun mics have. So these two specific features being internal on this microphone make the profile of it way smaller than any other shotgun mic I've used. Definitely smaller than my Rode VideoMic Pro Plus and even smaller than other newer alternatives like the Rode NTG. Now the Sennheiser mic did come with a dead cat, which makes it a little bit bigger and also helps reduce the wind noise a little bit, but I found this little design capsule thing is actually pretty good at getting rid of the noise on its own. It's not perfect. It's definitely not as good as having a dead cat, but in most cases I can get away with not having a dead cat because of this little system that they've built. And now this is an audio test out in a little more of a nature setting. We've got some birds chirping, we've got some wind a little bit in the background, not directly hitting the mic, but it's still kind of just background noise. Let's be quiet for a second and let you hear the ambient noise in the background. I also have not put the dead cat on for any of these tests yet because it's such a nice low profile and putting the dead cat on kind of ruins that. So if I can get away with not using the dead cat at all, I'd rather do that. For run and gun shooting, a smaller profile like this is super helpful because when you have a massive mic with a big dead cat on it, it just screams there's some kind of professional production going on, even when there's not. If you've ever tried to vlog in public in somewhere like downtown Toronto, then you're very aware that having a dead cat on your microphone kind of makes you a little more visible. When I'm just holding my camera with no microphone, I'm just a tourist taking photos, but as soon as there's a fluffy big dead cat on there, all of a sudden I must be in filming a production of some kind. And that can lead to being kicked out of a lot of places for filming, even though you're not doing anything professional. So for that reason, the smaller profile of this and not needing a dead cat on it is a huge win, especially for vlogging style content. Hey Anthony.
What's up?
What do you think of this microphone here?
That one? Compared to this one?
Yeah, it looks a little different, eh?
I mean, this one's all fluffy, but that's for like the wind suppression. Does yours have like wind?
It's got something built in there. I also have a little dead cat that goes over top, but it's like almost like a little blimp.
Is it better?
I don't know. We're
Is the audio test check? Audio check. What if I go over here? Check, check, check. Audio, and then I can ASMR. ASMR.
So on the side of the mic, we have a few buttons and switches here. We have the power button. We then have a high pass filter switch. And then we also have the 3 gain modes. We have a plus 20 decibel mode, a 0 decibel mode, and a minus 10 decibel mode. My Rode VideoMic Pro Plus actually has these exact same modes, which is going to be helpful when we do a comparison test in a minute. Having these options is nice, but I would have much preferred a gain dial like on the Rode NTG so you can really fine tune exactly where you want to set your gain instead of just having these 3 preset modes. The audio jack plugs into the front of the mic right here and it's a screw locking connector, which means your audio cable isn't going to get yanked out, which is nice. And then on the other side of the mic here, we have a headphone out and a volume to control the headphone out. This is really nice if you have a camera that doesn't have a headphone out jack built into it. This isn't really a big deal for me because I don't monitor my audio a lot when doing run and gun stuff, and even if I want to, I have a built-in headphone jack on my camera. But if you're shooting with a more vlogging style camera, a lot of them don't have these headphone jacks, so having that option to monitor your audio is really nice. Then comes the one thing about the design of this mic that I don't love, and that's how it's powered. On the back of the mic here, you have a little compartment that opens up and you can slot in 2 AAA batteries, and that's how the mic's powered. Now don't get me wrong, I like that the mic is powered. It's not passively powered by the headphone jack. This gives us a few advantages. The main one being the audio can be boosted by the batteries in the preamp built into the mic first before that audio gets passed onto your camera. These hybrid mirrorless cameras have notoriously bad preamps, and that basically just means when you plug any audio source into your camera and you have to turn up the volume within the camera, it adds a lot of noise and hiss to the audio, which you're gonna see in the testing. And when you're using a passively powered microphone like a Rode Go or something like that, you have to boost up the audio in camera a lot more to get your voice at the proper level. But with a mic like this or my Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, you can set it to the plus 20 decibel mode, and then the audio coming straight out of the microphone is already much louder, so the camera doesn't have to do as much of the heavy lifting. And this leads to a much cleaner audio capture. But why don't I like this? Well, it's specifically because the mic uses 2 AAA batteries to power it. I actually think my VideoMic Pro Plus has the perfect solution here. The mic has a proprietary removable rechargeable battery that can be charged via USB, plugging directly into the microphone. This is nice because I have to plug in the microphone for like half an hour, maybe an hour tops, and I'll have like 100+ hours of battery life. But the nice part about the design is this Rode rechargeable battery comes out, and then I have the option to put in 2 AA batteries. So that means if I'm on set recording something and I notice my battery is low, I have the option, if I just bring a micro USB cable with me, to plug in the mic for 15 minutes and I know I'm gonna be good for days. But if I'm in the middle of nowhere shooting something on a hiking trail and my mic dies, I can swap out the batteries for 2 AA's if I bring those with me. That way I don't have to rely on just plugging it into something to charge. So you get the best of both worlds. Now, in this case, I can't plug the mic in anywhere to charge it, which is not the end of the world. This mic advertises a over 100-hour battery life, so it's not something that's gonna come up a lot, but it basically just means now if I want to be prepared, I have to carry a couple extra AAA's in my camera bag at all times, and that's just ever so slightly annoying to me. Although I do already have some really high quality rechargeable AA and AAA batteries that I have exactly for devices like this, so at least I don't have to be throwing out batteries every month. All right, so overall the design of this mic is great, but none of that matters if the audio quality sucks. So how does it sound? I've taken this mic on a handful of shoots out in the field, and I even used it to record one of my YouTube videos, the cherry blossom editing video, if you want to check it out. And here's what I found. First, the audio quality is good, which I would be disappointed if it wasn't for a mic of this price point. All right, this is another good example of the sound isolation and the directional pickup pattern for this microphone, because right now I'm in this little office building here and there's a bunch of people talking behind me. So let's see how quiet does it get when I spin around. You'll probably still hear them a little bit, but you should notice you pick up my voice way better than whatever's going on back there. The directionality of the pickup pattern is really nice. Like most shotgun mics, it has a cardioid pickup pattern, which means it picks up directly what's in front of it and cuts out most of what's coming in from the sides and behind. So as you can see in these tests here, it basically means I can point the mic at myself when it's on top of my camera, and it's mostly just picking up my own voice. For all my field tests, I had the mic plugged directly into my camera in plus 20 decibel mode, and then the camera's gain was just set to whatever it needed to be for my voice to bounce around minus 12 decibels. Okay, this first test of the Sennheiser MKE400 is with it in 20 plus decibel mode, running with a cable directly into my camera. So then the camera's preamp volume is boosted just as much as it needs to be to get the mic bouncing around minus 12 decibels, and then from there I'll boost it up a little bit in post so it matches the rest of the video. I'll be quiet for a second so you can hear the background noise. Keep in mind I'm in my office right now and this is about as quiet as it can get. My computer's turned off, there's no fans or sounds or anything going on in here, and this is what it sounds like. And now this is the audio from the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus plugged directly into my camera in 20 plus decibel mode. Keep in mind, this is basically a best case scenario for each of these mics because the mic is placed directly in front of my mouth, which means it can be set at a very low volume in order to pick my voice up clearly. This is how I use my Rode most of the time in plus 20 decibel mode, and I'll just be quiet so you can hear if there's any background noise. All right, this is the next test, same setup, camera running, plugged in directly into my Canon R6 Mark II, except now we're in 0 decibel mode and I've boosted the gain in camera to compensate for that. You should be hearing a little more of background noise, a little more hiss probably, and that is because my camera preamp has to be turned up and that's causing the issue, not necessarily the microphone. Now I'll just be quiet for a second so you can get that background noise. And now the Rode is in 0 decibel mode. One thing I've already noticed is I didn't have to turn up the volume in camera as much to compensate for this, because overall this is a louder mic even at 0 decibels. But again, I'll be quiet and you can listen for the ambient noise. And now this is the mic in -10 decibel mode. This is probably going to be the worst one because the mic is picking up my audio the quietest it possibly can be, and so the camera has to really compensate for that. I'll just be quiet for a second so you can hear that background noise again. And finally, this is the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus at -10 decibels plugged directly into my camera. I've turned up the camera preamp to compensate, and this is what it sounds like. This is probably the noisiest of the modes, but I still have a funny feeling this is going to sound a lot better than the Sennheiser, but I'll be quiet now. Overall, in the field, I'm really happy with how this mic performs, but when I was recording in my studio, I did notice one glaring issue. This mic is quite a bit quieter than my Rode. This means the gain has to be increased in camera, which increases the noise floor and overall makes the audio sound a lot worse. This isn't a big deal in the field when there's a lot of other ambient noise going on anyways, but when you're recording in a really quiet room, like your home studio, for example, you really notice it in those pauses in talking. You can really hear that background noise. So that's how it sounds recording directly into my R6 Mark II, but when we're in the studio, we do have some options. So in order to try and make this mic sound as good as I possibly can, I'm gonna do another test, but I'm gonna be plugging this microphone into my Rode Wireless Pros. The benefit of the Rode Wireless Pros is that yes, they transmit the audio to the camera, but they also have the option to record audio in the transmitter at 32-bit float quality. And this basically just means instead of having to increase the gain on the camera, I can just record to the little transmitter on its own and boost that in post, which is going to be a lot less noisy way of increasing the gain. I'm also going to add the effects that I normally do when I make these types of videos, EQ, compression, noise reduction, in order to try and make this sound as best as it possibly can in the most realistic real world scenario. Because if I was actually going to film a video like this with this microphone, this is exactly how I would do it. And now for a final test, I want to see if I give this mic the absolute best case scenario and do everything I can to make it sound good. How good does it sound? Right now I have it running in +20 decibel mode, but it's running into my Rode Wireless Pro, which allows me to capture 32-bit float audio from the mic. And that means I can have this mic set as quiet or as loud as I want, and I'll be able to compensate for that by bringing up the volume or bringing down the volume in editing later. And I can do that without ruining the audio quality at all. So this is +20 decibels at 32-bit float audio with it compensated in editing, and I'll just be quiet now. So this definitely sounds better, and I think I could work with this, but the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus still sounds a bit better. It has that louder output, and I think it picks up the mid-range and high range in my voice a lot nicer. It's a little more crisp, but that doesn't mean the Sennheiser does a bad job here. So who would I recommend actually buy this mic? If you're doing run and gun style content or in the field vlogging type of stuff, this mic is hard to beat. The profile, just the size of it, is so much better than pretty much any other shotgun mic on the market in terms of just being small, light, not noticeable, very discreet. This definitely wins in that category. But if you're looking for a mic to just record stuff in the studio, like talking head, this type of content, it's a little bit harder to recommend. You can definitely get away with using this mic as I showed in the demonstration, but I really think if you're only doing stuff in your studio space, this is not really the mic to go with. And that's fine, that's not really what this mic is for. If your priority is recording in studio stuff like this, I actually think the Rode NTG is probably the better route to go. It's built a little bit more like a traditional shotgun mic, and because of its traditional design, it's a little bit easier to rig up to a light stand or a boom pole or a friction arm or something to record videos like this a little bit better. And I also think its design lends itself to a little bit higher quality audio. But if you're looking for a mic to do both, this is still a really good option. If you like to go out and vlog and then come home and film some talking head stuff, you can definitely get away with using the MKE400 for that. Neither option is necessarily better than the other, they're just good at different things. I'll be including links to the MKE400 and the Rode NTG in the description if you want to check out those, along with all my other camera gear. Those are all Amazon affiliate links, so it's a great way to support the channel without any additional cost to you if you were going to buy something like this anyways. Also, if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more cool stuff like this, but that's all I got for you. So until next time.